I think it's a very exciting movie. It's a thriller that takes us behind the closed doors of the Vatican, and it's about the election for the most powerful position in the world, the Pope, and how people bring themselves into the position of becoming the Pope, different parties, left, right, center, up, down, and they all fight against each other to get that position. Well, in a way, this movie is a Game of Thrones for the Pope, for the papal throne, or it's a political thriller from the 70s, like All the President's Men. But if you think of it in modern terms, maybe it's a mixture between Game of Thrones and Succession. Well, Ralph Fiennes is probably the most soulful actor I know. He's a person where I can see every single thought on his face. He invites us to take us not into his eyes, but see what's going on behind his eyes, what's going on in his head. And that was the most important thing for the journey of this movie, that we're able to identify with Ralph and go on this journey with him, and thus be interested in the electoral proceedings of who's going to become Pope. We've been developing this movie for 6 years. I first read it 6 years ago, and since then we've been working on the script, we've been financing it, we've been, movie is a long process, and if you stick with it that long, it's a good sign that you truly love it and that you truly need to make it, because the movies that you don't love anymore, that you're not as passionate about, they just fall away. And this movie just came to be because I was very much intrigued with the power struggles, but also with Ralph's interior journey that he goes on as a character, his interior journey of doubt that I was very much able to identify with. Well, the good thing is I shot this movie in the winter of 2022-23, just before the Oscars. So I'd planned it for a long time. And while I was promoting All Quiet, I was thinking, I wish I had more time to enjoy this and really hand myself over to this process. And then I realized it's so great that I already selected my next movie, because all the burden is off of it. The decision is made. I've got a movie, I'm making it, and I'm just moving on. I always want to, don't look back too much, look forward. I realized about 10 years ago that too many reactions distract me from what I really want to do. And so I stopped reading everything. I'm a black hole of knowing of how the movie does. All I do is I ask you, is it doing okay? Are the reviews good? How's social media? How's X? How's Instagram? What do people say? How do they react? And if the headline is good, I'm happy. If it's, hopefully it's just good. So you just sort of, and you just focus on sort of try to shut out all the noise and just focus on yourself. There's a big white line on St. Peter's Square which says, no cameras allowed beyond this point. So you can't film inside the Vatican. The Catholic Church won't cooperate with you. Of course, they never make movies. I think the last movie they did was with Tom Hanks or something 25 years ago or so. So we created everything, and that comes with a great liberty. You can create your vision of what it should look like. Obviously, you rebuilt the Sistine Chapel, you copy that. So we did that in Cinecittà, in a wonderful studio outside of Rome. And then all the hallways and of the Casa Santa Marta, I looked at the real Casa Santa Marta, decided it was terribly ugly, and wanted to build a nicer one myself.
El Papa ha muerto. El trono está vacante.
El cónclave es ahora. Ha llegado otro cardenal.
Se tratará de un impostor.
Los hombres peligrosos son los que ansían ese puesto.
Tenga mucho cuidado, Tomás.
Cónclave, 20 de diciembre en cines.